Hi and welcome to Scapulatraining. In between the exercises I'm going to read something about mucociliary clearance and try to learn it. And participating in the exercises is your honors, and mucociliary clearance has to do with internal anatomy, so I'm going to talk most of the video about internal anatomy of the airways. Let's start with the first exercise, a warm-up exercise, just shoulder circles. We're going back with the shoulders, up, in front and down, and again back, up, in front and down. And again back, up, and front and down, and now for the last time. And we're changing the direction, we're going in front, up, back and down. And in front, up, back and down, and now for our last time. And that was the warm-up exercise. We're going to do shoulder circles again in a moment, but then more advanced. Now to the mucociliary clearance. Mucociliary clearance has to do with the lungs. So the first thing we should know is that mucociliary clearance has to do with the lungs. The lungs have two mechanisms to remove unwanted particles which were inhaled: the Cough Reflex and the mucociliary clearance. So, wanted things inhaled into the lungs must be air, and unwanted particles can be something else, crumbles of a cookie or something else. And they can come out through cawing. And the second thing which the lung uses to clear itself from things which should not come into the lungs is this mucociliary clearance, the exercise I mentioned. Now more advanced. So now long arms, not a bend in the elbows, and hands on to fists. And we are going in front with shoulders and back and down, but we're doing that slowly with effort and control and concentrated. So we're going in front and we're putting effort in to come in front, tuck the chin in and bring the shoulders up, bring them really back, put effort into bringing them far back and bring them down and in front. And the whole time we're moving them up now, we're trying to bring them further in front. So bring them completely up and now try to come higher up with the shoulders while you move them backwards. Move them backwards the whole time. We try to come higher up. Now we're going down, we're completely down. Now try to come further down to the ground while you bring the shoulders in front. We're going completely in front. Now tuck the chin in and we are bringing the shoulders further in front while we're lifting them slowly up. Now try to bring the shoulders higher while we're moving them slowly backwards, but we're completely back. Now try to bring them further back the whole time while you move them down and we're down. And we're going down, further down. We're moving them in front and we're completely in front. Now try to bring them more in front while we're going higher, and for our last round, we're going higher while we're moving backwards, and now try to come further back with the shoulders while we're moving them down, and we're done with the first direction in a moment backwards. So, the lung uses cawing to get rid of unwanted particles inhaled, and mucociliary clearance. The nasal hair of the nostrils of the nose traps large particles. The sneeze reflex can be triggered and expels particles from the nostrils. So the first line of defense against particles are the hairs in the nostrils of the nose. The nostrils are the two holes in the nose. And there are hairs in and they can catch some particles. And also the sneeze reflex can be triggered by particles in the hairs of the nose, for example, and then they get expelled. That's the first line of defense, or segment of sneezing. Very small things referred to the pathogens can come into the very small things in the lungs called alveoli. Here, mucociliary clearance removes these pathogens. So, pathogens seem to be something which is not wanted in the lungs. So, we don't want cookie crumbles in the lungs, but we also don't want pathogens in the lungs. And pathogens seems to be more complex, and it's not explained what pathogens is, but it's something we don't want in the lungs, and it seems to be more complex. So, and it can come, they are very small, certainly. They can come into the lungs, into something which is also very small, the alveolis. The alveoli are in the lungs, and there these pathogens can come in, and they should not be there, and they are removed through this mucociliary clearance. Now an exercise backwards. So long arms with hands on the fists, and we go back and down, and we're doing it very slowly and concentrated. Every movement. We're going in front, tuck the chin in, and we're trying to come further in front while we're moving the shoulders down, and we're coming completely down. Now try to come further down while we're moving the shoulders backward. Try to bring them more backwards. And now try to bring the shoulders high up, and now try to bring them higher up the whole time while we're bringing them in front, tuck the chin, and try to bring the shoulders down, completely down, and we're trying to bring them further down while we walk backwards, move backwards, and we're completely backwards. Now keep striving into the backwards direction while we're lifting them up, and we're trying to bring the shoulders higher up, completely in front, tuck the chin, and we're trying to bring them further down while we're going down. And for the last round, we're trying to go further down the shoulders. We're going backwards to the shoulders. We're trying to come higher up, and we're trying to come higher while we're going in front. And we're done with this exercise. So, pathogens can come into the alveoli in the lungs, and mucociliary clearance helps to get rid of these pathogens. Mucociliary clearance works in order to protect something called Parenchyma, which is described as being delicate tissue. Okay, whatever. Parenchyma should be protected by this mucociliary clearance, which is something of the lungs, a part of the lungs. Mucociliary clearance, which removes pathogens from the alveoli in the lungs, also provides protection and moisture to the airways. So, however that happens exactly is not written here, but it helps to add protection to the airways, which is also more with the trachea and so on, and moisture. So we don't try that. Okay, now we got more explanation to this mucociliary clearance, how it actually works. Cilia are hair-like things which are on the inside of the respiratory tract, from the trachea to the terminal bronchioles. So cilia are like hairs, and they are on the inside of the trachea, which comes from here from the larynx, the trachea goes here, up to the terminal bronchioles. They are somewhere in the bronchioles of the lungs. So the trachea comes to the lungs, it splits to the right and left lung, and when it goes in and it's branched further, then some part of these bronchioles are called terminal bronchioles. So basically from this part, the air comes here through the trachea into the lungs, then it splits, and at some point these are the terminal bronchioles. And this part, on the inside of this part, has cilia, hair-like things. The next exercise, so we are standing with the legs wide apart. We're going a bit into the knees, ranging forward with a straight back, letting the arms hang, and we're pulling the scapulas together, and we're doing it with a lot of effort. So straight back, and we're pulling the scapulas really together. Try to bring the scapulas really together. Now we're making fists with the hands, and we're bringing our arms up. And we're still trying to bring our tracheas together with the back muscles. And not just bring them together, but really try to bring them together. And we're releasing the arms and the scapulas. And again, we're going a bit into the knees, we're hinging a bit forward of straight back, we're letting the arms hang, and we're making fists directly, and we're bringing the scapulas together, and we're pressing them really together. And we're lifting the arms up, and we're trying to bring the scapulas together, letting the arms go, the scapulas go. And the last round. We're going a bit into the knees, so we're hinging forward with a straight back, we're letting the arms hang, now with the out twist. We're bringing the scapulas together, and we're bringing them really together. Put effort into this. And we're making fists, and we're lifting the arms up. And bring effort into bringing the scapulas together. And we're releasing the arms and the scapulas. Cilia is something hair-like on the inside of trachea and the part of the bronchioles or bronchis up to the terminal bronchioles, whatever, so this part where cilia. These hair-like cilia on the inside from trachea to the terminal bronchioles beat at a rate of 10 to 20 times per second. Around the hair-like cilia, which beat 10 to 20 times per second, is the periciliary liquid layer, which is overlain with mucus. So these hairs are there, and around these hairs there's the periciliary liquid layer, and over this periciliary liquid layer there's mucus, and these hairs are beating with 10 to 20 beats per second, so pretty fast. The next exercise, we are having again the legs standing wide apart, we are going a bit into the knees, we're hinging forward, now we're making a round back, we're bringing the scapulas in front, we are having the arms hang in front, we're turning the arms to the inside, we're going back into the inside of the arms while we're straightening up, And we bring our shoulders down, and so the scapulars down and back to the inside. We bring the scapulars, try to bring them down to the floor, the scapulars, and also together the scapulars. And back, of course. So from, and do this let me explain again. And the arms back into the inside. So the arms are going back to the inside, and we're releasing. The scapulars, we have them in front, and we're bringing the scapulars back. We're bringing them also down and to the inside. Scapulars again. And again, we're having the legs in the apart. We're hinging a bit, so we're going a bit into the knees. We're hinging in front. We're making a round back, bringing the scapulars in front. Letting the arms hang, returning the arms to the inside. Letting the arms back into the inside, and we're bringing the scapulars back, down, and also to the inside. And put effort into this position. So that the arms, with the scapulars coming down to the inside and back. The arms back to the inside, arms back into the inside, scapulars down to the inside and back. And we're releasing. Around here, like, so there's the mucus overlaying of a periciliary liquid layer. The mucus overlaying periciliary liquid layer, which surrounds the hair like cilia, traps pathogens. So this mucus, which is overlaying over the periciliary liquid layer, we have these pathogens, which we don't want in the lungs and not in the alveoles, is trapped by the mucus. And the hair-like cilia are beating in a coordinated manner, which transports the mucus with the trapped pathogens inside to the pharynx, where it is swallowed or caught out. The pharynx is up here, so over the lungs. The trachea goes up to the larynx. The larynx is a voice box where the voice is made. The larynx, I think, is the voice box. There's a voice made, and over the larynx there is the pharynx. So pharynx is the upper part over the trachea. And these hairs are beating, they are dancing, I describe it now as dancing. They're dancing in a coordinated manner that the mucus is transported upwards to the pharynx. And there it is either caught out, the mucus, with the pathogens inside, really don't want inside, or it's swallowed, and if it's swallowed, it doesn't go, so if we breathe in, it goes through the trachea into the lungs, and if we swallow something, it goes through the esophagus into the stomach. And it's in all cases better in the stomach than in the lungs. We want nothing of anything in the lungs except of air. So even if swallowed is maybe not perfectly for pathogens, we don't want them in the lungs, better in the stomach, so they are swallowed down or caught out. I don't have really much time left to do this exercise. So you have a sock or a tennis ball or something, we're holding it to the outside and we're dropping it and catching it. And on the other side. So I guess if you use a sock and you drop it, it's more quieter than a tennis ball. And if you miss it and you catch it on your half, you don't accidentally throw it into the display. Or if you do it, it's soft. So that's why I use a sock, and you maybe too. So no time left to just the stretching exercise. We're bringing the arm in front and the shoulder comes back. So that shoulder comes back. We're stretching the arm in front. And on the other side. Shoulder stays back and we're stretching in front. I'm going to look how the layer was called. It was the periciliary liquid layer. So, Mucociliary Clearance. Mucociliary Clearance is pathogens can come into the lungs, and most bigger particles are catched by the nostrils, by the nasal hair and nostrils that are sneezed out or something, but they can come up into the alveoles, these pathogens, and inside of trachea up to the terminal bronchus there is ciliar hair, or cilia, which is hair-like, and that beats 10 to 20 times per second, and around this ciliar hair there's periciliary liquid layer, and overlaying of this periciliary liquid layer there's mucus. Inside of the mucus gets the pathogens trapped. The ciliary hair beats in a dance movement, in a coordinated rhythm, that the mucus with the pathogens inside are transported up to the pharynx, where it is called out or swallowed down, and that way this mucociliary clearance clears itself, it clears the lungs of pathogens which shouldn't be in the lungs. I'm over time, but I thank you very much, and until next time.